Hello, Year 2. Welcome back. Today we're going to be doing Mary Seacole and her life. Mary Seacole is a very important and significant person in history, and this is because of all her help that she was doing during the 1800s and everything that she did for the soldiers in the Crimean War. She, along with many others, changed the way that nursing is done. She is always remembered as someone specifically that helped change the nursing world for the better. Her life. So Mary Seacole was born in 1805 in Jamaica. That's over 200 years ago. From a very young age, she always knew what she wanted to do. She wanted to become a nurse. Talk to your adult. Do you know what you want to be when you grow up? Have a think. See whether you can have a discussion about why you want to be that. If you don't know, that's fine, but you might do. Pause the video here and have a chat. Her mother was black, and she ran her own boarding house in Jamaica, which means she ran a service where soldiers and civilians who had fallen ill could come in and they could take shelter and they could be fed. And this was usually because of the tropical climates that those civilians and those soldiers weren't used to. Mary had always wanted to be a nurse because she had been so inspired by her mother. So her mother taught her home remedies, caring techniques, and important nursing knowledge, and she learned that all from her mum. There is actually no record of her mother's name, and she's only ever referred to as a free Jamaican woman. Mary's father. Mary's father, James Grant, was a white man born in Scotland. He was an officer in the British Army, and he was working in Jamaica to protect the island against the Spanish after Britain had seized it originally back in 1655. So at this moment, Britain are colonising the other areas in the world, and this was one of the islands that Britain colonised for its trade. Jamaica is a fantastic place for growing trade items such as sugar. So the British seized that during 1655, and they had certain patrols set up, which James Grant was part of, to protect the island so that the Spanish didn't take it back. James was a well-respected white man, and this meant that it allowed Mary to be more socially accepted and to be a free woman, meaning that she could travel the world starting her own businesses. The 1800s. During this time, things weren't very fair for certain people, and it was a very tough time for a lot of black people. Because Mary had white heritage, she was able to do more than most black women during this time, but she still had a lot of difficulties being completely accepted. During this time, black people were not treated and did not have the same rights as everyone else. During this time, white people thought that they had the right to anything that they wanted. So then when they seized Jamaica because they wanted the goods that it had. And they would have slaves that were the Jamaican people. Mary's mother was a free Jamaican woman. That means she wasn't a slave, but that was because she married James Grant, who was a white man. He had more power than the people in Jamaica. We're now going to watch a video about her life. This tells us from birth all the way up to when she goes to join the Crimean War and nurse there. Now, we're not going to watch it together. I'm going to link the video so that you can click on it, or it'll be the first link in the description and you can watch that whole video. It's around about 12 minutes long, but it's a really nice and friendly video, and it tells us exactly what Mary did. And it's the fantastic things that she did in her life all the way up to the Crimean War when she travelled there on her own. I want you to go and watch this video now, and then come back to this video, and then we can move on to the next part of the activity. So pause the video here, find that next video, watch that, then come back. Okay, so you've watched that video now, you've watched the whole thing, and now we're going to move on to the activity. Our activity today is we're going to create a timeline for Mary Seacole's life. I've given you some bits of information already, but you've just watched a fantastic video that just tells you all of the information about what she did, and I've written some bits of it in her life, and it's your job to order them. So you're going to be ordering her life up to the journey to the Crimean War. So that's not her whole life, that's up to the Crimean War. So it's around about 40 to 50 years worth of her life. The cards that you'll be ordering will be on the next slide. You can use them to write them down yourself and then order them. They'll also be put on tapestry if you need a clearer view of them. Your challenge is, if once you have finished, could you add any additional information about Mary Seacole's life which you think is important? Go back through this video and also use the linked video to help you. Is there anything that really stood out to you that you think that is a really important fact? And then you need to write that down. Okay, so this is our 6 points throughout Mary Seacole's life up to the Crimean War that we're going to be ordering. Now you can read these with your adult. You've got each one and they're all mixed up. I've been a bit cheeky. I've mixed them all up, so you need to make sure that you read the whole part. Make sure you're checking the date in it. Read it, because some of them might not have a date, so you need to double check. Order them all for me, and then once you've ordered them, can you challenge yourself to add in an extra fact or an extra few facts that you thought were really worth remembering from either this video or from the linked video? So pause the video now, sort them out on your own piece of paper, either just write down a couple of notes for each one so you can order them through, and then come back and play the video and we'll talk about it afterwards. Okay, so that's the end of this lesson. Thank you very much for coming along. I'd like everyone to, if they can, please post this to Tapestry so I can make sure that you're doing the work from home and I can see whether you're getting the right idea and whether these lessons are working for you at home. Once you've posted them to Tapestry, I can have a look, I can comment, I can like, I can just see that you're making the best progress you can from home. It's now time to make sure that we're working as hard as we can. I know the times are a bit strange, but that's okay. We're going to do our absolute best to get through this. So that means that we need to be trying our best at home. It's as if we're in the classroom right now and you'd either be in Morris, Gaudi or Da Vinci, and you need to be trying your best. Thank you very much for coming along. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.